2014 to 2018 2 litre TDCi Ford Kuga full service. Start by removing the under tray. The sump plug is this really easy plastic plug. You just need to remove this pin here and then twist the plug anti-clockwise. Now the plug itself is classed as disposable. You would change the whole thing according to Ford, but that's up to you. The oil filter is at the front of the engine and requires this 76mm 12 side filter socket. You usually get instructions on the side of the new filter which show you how to refit. So once the mating surfaces are touching, you only need to tighten it a further 3/4 of a turn. Make sure you lubricate the new seal with a little bit of oil. As you can see, surface touching now. We don't need to over tighten, we can just tighten it by hand, and we're just going around another 3/4 of a turn, and that's it. Once you're happy with the amount of oil that's drained out, you can replace the sump plug. We haven't replaced it, the sump plug is in good order, but we'll obviously check for leaks once the engine is running and refilled with oil. Don't forget to refit the pin. Clean off any oil residue, as we don't want to mistake this for oil leaks once the engine is back running. Removing the engine cover, it just makes it a little bit easier to get to the oil filler, and also means if you spill any oil, you're not spilling it straight onto the oil filler cap. The oil filler on this particular car has a mesh which stops you from being able to fit a funnel in there, so I had to cut out the bit showing filling the oil. Replace the filler cap and run the engine for a few minutes, then switch off so that we can check the oil level on the dipstick. We'll have to wait about 10 minutes just to let the level settle, and then we can remove the dipstick, clean it off, place it back in the engine, pull it out, and then we'll be able to see a level. It's not very clear on this particular dipstick, but we've got the two faint black marks there, and this is about halfway between the two. Here it is again, but a bit clearer to see. And now the fuel filter. So remove 3 8mm bolts from this cover that goes over the filter housing. Remove the fuel pipes. You have to lift this part of the clip first and then press the outside of the clip and pull the pipe out at the same time. Remove this electrical connector. You'll need to unlock it first by pulling this red clip along. It's a little bit difficult. And now you can press to unclip it. Make sure that the fuel pipes are clear of the housing, and then using a 24mm socket we can remove the oil filter housing top. I would suggest wearing gloves for this. It is out of haste that I keep making videos not wearing gloves, and I do apologise for that. Diesel does really get stuck to you and it does stink, so you probably will want to wear gloves. Carefully remove the filter, let it drain out a little bit, don't let the diesel dribble all over the engine bay. We've got a new filter with a new O-ring for the housing as well, and you'll notice the design is actually slightly different to the original one. So we replace the O-ring on the filter housing top, and this is the new filter against the old filter. So the new filter doesn't have the mounting profile at the bottom which lets it sit in the housing, but this is normal. The engine is the same on the Citroens and the Peugeots, and this filter is correct. It's just not as per the original. So we're just pushing it onto the filter housing top. Did take a bit of doing, and then refitting the full top with the filter attached. You may wish to apply a little bit of grease to the new O-ring as well. That will just ensure a good seal. You can't over tighten the filter because it's got this end stop where it can't go any further, so don't try and tighten it further than that point. You can visually see when it is fully in position, and then refit the fuel pipes and the electrical connector. You will need to make sure that the clips are unlocked when pushing the pipes back into position. After changing the fuel filter, some vehicles are prone to air locking and they won't self-bleed, but this is not one of them. All you need to do is start the engine and rev it up straight away. You might get a hiccup, but we haven't got anything. So the system is self-bled. Check for leaks and give the filter housing a clean, and then refit the cover. Now we've moved on to the air filter. Remove these 7mm screws from the perimeter of the airbox. Note that the bottom of the filter is the end of the airbox, so fitting this correctly is important. Now the new filter didn't have this protrusion which located it in the bottom of the airbox, so this can be fitted anyway up, this new one. So we can see that the new filter is located correctly in the bottom of the airbox, and then when refitting the top part we just need the overlap over the filter at the end and then retighten the screws. Now for the cabin filter, we're in the passenger front footwell and we need to remove these two clips to remove this little kick panel trim. Once the trim is removed, at the rear right, this is the cabin filter housing, and you can remove the cover and pull the filter straight out. Take note of the direction of airflow, as this is the way that the new filter will need to be refitted also. Top part of the cover, just a little bit awkward to get in there. Refit the kick panel trim and we're all done. Full service complete. Just to reset the service light, turn the ignition on, and with the radio off, doors shut, as you can see, service light is on. Press the accelerator pedal and the brake pedal and hold them down. And that's the service light reset. So now when we turn the ignition on, no more service light.